And then example number 3 is for anyone who's going on to the AP Calculus. This would be a calculator question. This will not be on your exam because you can only solve it with a graphing calculator. But a skill that you need for the AP is how to solve questions like this with a graphing calculator. And the strategy is, if you don't know how to solve it without a calculator or with just a regular scientific calculator, you can always solve an equation with a graphing calculator by making one side your first graph and the other side your second graph. So I go to my graphing calculator, I go to y equals, clear things out, and on the one side I had cos x, on the other side I had x squared. So, oops, that's not squared, that's squared. And so it's going to graph a parabola and it's going to graph your cos graph on the same line. If I hit graph, I might have had a terrible scale from a previous question that I did. It looks pretty bad. Sometimes you might have just had a standard window. That doesn't look too bad. Can you see that the red graph and the blue graph have two places that they intersect? On your graphing calculator, and this is nice too, if you take an applied course, you do this a lot in applied as well. Above the trace button is calculate, and that calculate is for any kind of calculations you want to do with graphs. So if I go second and my trace button, it says, what would you like to calculate from your graph? A value, an x-intercept, or 0? Would you like to find a minimum, a maximum, or a intersect? I want to find out where those two graphs intersect. So I go to number 5, push number 5, and it says, which curve do you want as your first curve? And it starts, I'm on the blue one, so yeah, that looks good. Enter. It jumps to my red one. Perfect. Enter. It asks you to guess. I don't know why it asks you to guess. Nobody ever guesses. But you just push enter after you pretend to guess. And it finds you one when x is 0.824 and y is 0.679. Now, in this question, there's actually no y's. So we're trying to solve for x, so we only have to write the x value. Oh, I forgot about 0.824. There's 1. Now, some of you would be like, oh, I'm smart. I know there's symmetry, so the other one is at negative 0.824 because everything is symmetrical. But you can find the other one by doing this again. Second, calculate intersect. It'll always find the intersection closest where your cursor is. So if I pushed enter 3 times again, it's going to find the exact same one I just found. But if I move my cursor, oh, now I'm closer to the other one. Enter once, jumps to the red one. Enter again, asks you to guess. And we get the negative 0.824 that way. So this is something, if you're taking AP Calculus next year, on how to use a graphing calculator. We're actually going to use this skill more than just this one time in this course. But here's the question. You don't even, if you want to practice your graphing calculator, you can try question number 7.